So now we've come to a day and age where people no longer desire human beings, they desire robots, hence the virtual reality suit. And so when we think that, you know what, I can handle this, I can watch porn, and it's not going to affect me, we have no idea. Right now you're doing something at 10, 12, 15, 16, and later on this thing will affect you. And by then it's too late. So it's about ending that thing right now, like ceasing the consumption of pornography, ceasing the consumption of, because the point is, we are not immortal. Each of us, anything can befall us. Any one of us could become the victim of trafficking. Any one of us can consume pornography to such a degree that we go and enact that. Because that's what sometimes happens. If you read Paid For by Rachel Moran, there are men who go to the prostitute, they brutalize her, broken bones, things like this, and then the next week they've gone off and raped somebody. So when you sit there and say, oh, I'm okay, because there are people who make that statement and they say, I watch pornography, but I can still have sex, whatever. But there are guys who don't understand that there are boundaries. And so they'll have female friends that they will try it on with. Because in pornographic movies, the women are always wanting to have sex. That's not the reality in the real world. And there are men who just don't want drama. So they'd rather have a robot or they'd rather wear a virtual reality suit. So understand this, and this is really important for parents. Slight digression. When your child is there talking to a stranger who she believes is the same age as her, via video game, chat room, etc., you have no idea who that person is on the other side of the computer. And there's a story of a girl, she may have been 13 years old, talking to another girl for about a year. She had a problem with her mom and said, I want to run away from home. And so the girl said, come to, for example, come to New York and you can stay with me. The girl gets on a flight to New York and there's a child in the back of the car and there's a guy driving it. But understand this, the 13-year-old girl was actually the man she'd been talking to the entire time. So the point is, people have different disguises, and so with video games, I say to boys specifically, do not send naked photographs over the internet to go to the next level. And every time I show a slide, which is to do with Grand Theft Auto 5, if I believe correctly, if I remember correctly, Grand Theft Auto 5, the boys get really excited and they get really loud. And even a group of girls in Trinidad got really excited, and I wasn't expecting that. And I said to them, what happens in this video game is that the boy picks up a prostitute, pays her money, she performs a sex act, and one of the boys said $200, so I didn't know that pays $200, and then he murders her and gets his money back. It's called desensitization. Children playing these games, it exposes them to things and opens them up to things. We have children of 13 and 14 in a domestically abusive relationship, and the parents have no idea, and the children think that's okay, that's normal. It is not normal. And so even hearing this, you may want to go home and rescue your kids. That is not going to work. There's an approach, there is a way to do that. And I read a book by Opal Singleton, who has an organization in California. And in the book, she talks about trafficking. She talks about forgotten children, the name of her organization. And a mother heard about human trafficking, came home and told her daughter. And then her daughter said, I was planning to go to Ireland the next day, and showed the flight tickets. The mother called Opal, and Opal told her the approach to use. So what the mother did is sit down with her daughter and say to her, very calmly, and with a great attitude of wanting to listen, wanting to discuss and dialogue, not with an attitude of wanting to chastise or anything, but willing to understand her daughter. And she said to her, why does this guy want you to leave here, the United States, 6 weeks before your graduation? And she asked questions. She affirmed her daughter, that's amazing that you love this guy. I would love to meet him. Why doesn't he come here? And then she asked a list of questions, and I don't remember all of them, but she asked a list of questions. For example, she said, what's his favorite color? What does he enjoy doing? Where's his favorite place to travel? And as she's asking these questions, the daughter realizes she knows nothing. I don't know, I don't know. When the daughter is saying, I don't know, she makes a decision for herself. The point is, when someone is in an abusive relationship, their feelings are valid. Even if the boy or girl is beating them up, their feelings are valid. He loves me, she loves me. That may not be the case, but you have to validate feelings. Even if someone's feelings are inappropriate, you can say to them, it's okay for you to love, that's fine. But I am your female teacher and that is inappropriate. Your feelings are okay and they're valid. They're okay for you, they're valid. But I'm your teacher. I do not practice lesbianism. I will not have sex with you because you're my student. And because I have Christian values, that means I will marry a man. But you lay it out and you let the person know how you feel. You say to them, I feel uncomfortable. Make it personal. Make it about you. And I realized that people, children and adults, don't necessarily know what sexual abuse is. And so I'm just going to go back to things we've discussed earlier with sexual abuse. Sexual abuse can be when a child is naked in front of another child or an adult. Sexual abuse can be when an adult is naked in front of a child. It can be showing a pornographic video or a pornographic photograph. The point is the child was not touched, but it's sexual abuse. And then of course when there's touching and sexual acts. But I feel it's important to say that with all these photographs that are being exchanged, a child will be abused and not even know that. So I thought it's important to touch on that point. I also want to mention briefly about planting, because what traffickers do, they plant a girl into the high school.